Hello and welcome to Steve's Long Stay Workshop, where sets come to look top for various reasons. This is an Invicta 200 from 1947. It's not one which is in very good condition, but we can actually do something with it, I'm sure. Now, I had a chat recently wanted to know about taking radios apart. First of all, the back comes off. Yeah. Then on some radios there are screws underneath, which this one doesn't have. Okay, so that's one thing. And this looks like another. Right, okay. I'll just put that back in. Whichever way it goes. There we are. Right, okay. Now this particular one, the knobs don't come off on this. Some they do, some they don't. On this one they don't. If you look at the front here again, you can see inside, so the knobs actually don't come off on this. Although if you want to get them off, you probably could, but I don't think we're going to need to here. Now also with this was 4 screws on the chassis. Unfortunately 3 of them don't do anything with this. It's a bit of a mess, so I'm just going to get it working just for the hell of it, really, you know, so why not. So so we take out the one screw that's holding it in. I think is this one here. And the chassis comes out like so. Now in this case, the 8-foot transformer and stuff are there, but this is the rest of it here. So this is the bit which really need to work on. Quite good in this case, because it actually comes out like that. So now with that in mind, I shall now plug this thing in and see what it does. Now I know the different people have different ideas about plugging stuff in and seeing what it does, or changing everything before you go, or whatever. I'm a bit of a plug it in and hope man, because I've been doing this so long that you know, some TV sets I definitely would do on a V-rack or something, but these I really wouldn't. So there you are. Anyway, so this now goes onto here like this. I just quickly put this on. As I said, it's a bit difficult with one hand, so please bear with me. This, by the way, this radio, I've got the circuit on my phone now. I'll take you through what I can see about it on the radio in a minute, but at the moment I'll just plug it in and see what it feels like it wants to do, what it feels like it doesn't want to do. Well, we've got light. We've got light and we've got valve light. Okay. Well, that goes up to full like that. That's the tune in there. And so now we'll have a look and we'll see. Oh, that's okay, that's doing something. Okay. Oh great, working now.
With me, Danny Kelly, him, Darren Lewis, him, Danny.
Well, sort of.
Top 4 with Ladbrokes. We play together.
That's with it air as well. Right. Other way around. Let's see if we can get long wave on this. I don't think we can. At least with it an aerial, so back we go. And
Businesses across the land, whatever kind of business you're in, BT's got your back. We're talking small business, big business, new business, old business. Serious.
But I mean, the coup in Turkey in 2016,
well,
and Fenerbahce is saying we didn't.
it appears basically to be working, which is a little bit of a problem for me because I like things that don't. But anyway, it's in, it's working, so we know that we know more or less where we're starting from. So if I take it apart and put it together again and it doesn't work, well, yeah. Anyway, with that in mind, this radio, I'll turn it around so you can see, like that. This is a short Superhet, okay? Rectifier, output pentode, IF and diodes, and of course frequency changes, heptode. It's basically the ones with the valve missing for the first IF on these. Of course, it's short Superhet. They do work extremely well, so you know, it's nothing really bad, but it's mucky, but it works. Now, the fact that it works does not mean that everything's okay with it. No, siree. It did sound a bit distorted, actually. Now, these sets normally don't have a capacity in quite the same way, but despite that, I think it's worth looking around to make sure. So that goes on to I don't know, there, like that. Okay, yeah. This goes on to 600 volts. Plug in like that, and let's have a look at various areas where there could be a problem.
That's not something that can survive long term. If the clubs genuinely believe there are conspiracies against them at a league level, I don't see how the competition survives and thrives long term at all. It's a really dangerous situation.
Right, now then,
Just a final one then. All right.
with this set also, the valve heaters are in series. This means that if you pull one valve out, the whole thing goes dead. That's, you know, a bit like old Christmas tree lights. Now, I means also therefore that you can't pull a valve out and expect the rest of the set to work, so it's a little bit harder to troubleshoot. But I must admit, I do prefer these a bit more because it's easier to get a resistor or a capacitive drop or something in there rather than a transformer. So I know a lot of people tend to say, you know, these things, be careful, but the one thing you have to remember with these is that the chassis goes to deck. Okay, so if it goes to deck, and if that happens, well, you will be all right. I hope. Anyway, looking at this one very quickly, I'll print it off and see you. But yeah, this the chassis on here goes straight to deck. So if it went the other way around, the whole chassis would be live. So that's what you have to look out for. They have, you know, so that's something which we have to check up on. But yeah. So anyway, there we are. It's a working radio. So let's get going with it and make it work a little bit better. That, by the way, is the 8-put valve, okay? It's a 35 L6 GT, which is a common valve for these sets, but we'll put it for now. And then with it out, of course, there won't be any anything if the set was powered, which I'm not going to do. But with it, without a circuit, if you put it with the pin at the bottom down like that, yeah, bottom there, and count round from the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it's that one there. Okay, so that one there is the one which has a capacitor on it. Now, on these, the capacitor in question is C23, and in this case, actually, it will actually put voltage on that pin as well, because it actually draws it from the HT line before it goes to the valve, so it does actually do that. So therefore, C23 has to be changed, and then of course hopefully the valve is okay. I said it sounded a bit distorted. This is why. So looking back here, I might well take this off actually, and give the thing a bit of a clean before I go any further. But you know, this set is basically a scrapper, but you know, I like the sets that are, because they are normally a bit of a challenge. This one isn't, but mostly they tend to be. So take these screws off. Take these screws off, and we'll have a look at the back of the unit. I'll just need to show me ear to the world. By the way, there's several sets marked on it which are completely different, so you know, get the right one. Anyway, that one comes off too. There we are. Okay, and there you are. So that comes off. And look underneath here. Look at this. It's a bit mucky, isn't it? But never mind that. That's part of the game, as it were. Now, in most cases, I would probably want to change everything, but in this particular case, I'm not going to, because it's really more of a scrapper than anything else. So I'll find out where that capacitor is, I'll change it, and we'll try it again. Now, as far as capacitor changing on sets like this go, obviously something this on. If you're going to use it regularly, or give it to somebody else, then yeah, change all the caps. But don't do anything like that until you actually fault find the unit as much as possible. This is because if you go in and change all the caps and it still doesn't work, you're a bit stuck. More so, because at that point you have a radio with a load of new parts in it, which may or may not have been correctly fitted. I've done it, I'm sure you will do or have done, and so there will be then more faults to deal with. So please do it this way, okay? Do it this way. Even with a short Superhet or anything using an 8-put valve, the capacitor that goes to the first grid, that's the grid capacitor, always change it. It's very much compatible. I mean, if I want to go with the radio, always change that capacitor, because believe me, a 2 or 3 big capacitor, or less, depending on where you buy them, is a lot cheaper than a valve and an 8-put transformer. This, by the way, is a valve. It's the one that was on the and it's 35L6 GT. Now then, it goes in this socket here. Now, if you've got the circuit, you've got the diagram, there's no problem. You find it which one it is, and whip it out, and all will be well. But having said that, if you haven't got the lead, you've got to find it, or the circuit, you don't find it. What you do is you get the valve, go on the internet or Valve or whatever, and get the details of the valve in question. And when you've got the details of the valve in question, find out which pin G1 is in this case, yeah, and go round. So you know here that that's the middle. So inside here, yeah, there is actually a bump on here which goes into here. Now, if you hold the valve towards you like that with the bump at the bottom and count round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, that number's the pins. So therefore, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay. Get your screwdriver or whatever you used to count with, fingers even, you know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now in this case, I'm not going to got the circuit. I can't print it off yet because my printer's having a funny one on me. It goes to deck via 220k resistor, which is that one there, and goes to the AHT line via that capacitor and a 4k and a 10k resistor. So even though the particular unit here is not in place per se, it is. So again, always change that capacitor, the grid capacitor, without fail. So what you do is change it, simple as that. So you go right, okay, well I'll have to take that out like that. Like that, the foot come, which it has, okay, and this end too, which comes out like that, okay. Now then, that comes off there like that, and where possible I like to reuse. So what you do, you get one end of this capacitor like that, get one end of it like that, and put that on the end of it if you can. If you can't, don't worry, we've got plenty more, but I believe in keeping stuff working as well as possible, so try and put that, if you can, onto there. It's simple enough to do. With that out of circuit, if I was to power it like that, like so, there won't be any audio at all getting through because that capacitor out of circuit. But if you were to go onto there with it warmed up, preferably with the valve in, hang on, preferably with this valve in, then you won't hear any audio, but you will get a buzz. It's the buzz test, okay? Now the buzz test, by the way, isn't always accurate, but it will do. It will do in most cases. So then with the buzz test, with that in like that, put that in like that again, like that, and we should be able to get things warming up quite nicely. We do. So it's warming up as we speak. So now, that goes onto there, it warms up, we should get something. There we are. Okay, can you hear that? That is because the output stage there is working. Also, by the way, after this, if you want to check the valve hasn't been damaged by that naughty capacitor, then what you do is go onto here, and there should be nothing. And there's nothing. And it's staying at nothing as well. If you want, you can leave it, let the valve warm up and see if it'll, but that looks pretty stable to me. So, you know, it's not likely to cause a problem, I don't think. So there you are, that's that, like that. And of course, that goes like. But you see there's nothing there at all. The next one for about 2 minutes. So that valve has survived the attack on its life from that capacitor. Good for it. Anyway, I'll quickly solder this in, and we'll try it again. And you see there what happens with it. It is that it's not that capacitor, but I think that this is low voltage. And I say that because there's only like 50 volts on the other side of that capacitor.
It was all Man City, wasn't it?
From there, there's only 50 volts there. Now, coming down here, looking around here, just come back straight away there, you see. So, let's have a little look at this, shall we? Because it's looks like it might be the problem. So, first thing we do with any problem like this, even with the volume down, this there, can you hear it? So, what is it likely to be? Well, first of all, listen to that. First of all, going back to valve, I think it's valve 4 actually, hang on. Going back to valve 4, so sorry, valve 3. The anode of that goes through the transformer to valve 4 down here, which of course comes off the mains dropper as well, because of course it's HT. So let's have a look first of all at some voltages and see what is what and where is where, and you know, that sort of thing. That's the next thing we do.
Scores in League 2.
Nearly there, but
Stockport County 2, Doncaster 2, Walsall 1.
But not quite.
By a goal to nil. Mansfield 1, Forest Green 0. Morecambe 0, the 10 men of Crewe 1. Newport 1, Accrington 3, and Wrexham beat Bournemouth.
Right, now in some cases a radio that comes onto the bench, it's a pretty simple job. It's not. There's more things wrong with this, so we're going to have a look and find out. So first of all, that go off for now. Now, right, first of all, on off switch. Right, so that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, okay. So on it goes like that, and we should get something like 250 volts there, or even like that. We do, yeah, okay, and there too. We get 250 volts. Okay, fine. So then there we should also get.
So back to John's point about who else has won on the PGA Tour this year, and where we go from here, and even the fact that you could make an argument that the bigger names
at the moment it's working fine.
Back to Wyndham Clark, but Wyndham Clark could probably appear on a more generic sports show in the UK, and maybe people. I have no idea who he is or what sport he plays. Quite probably. These are not names that are transcending at the moment.
Suddenly it's working again. When the fault occurs, it is like it is a hum on motorboats to go to the system. It's not something that comes through comes 50 hertz or thereabouts, so those are probably okay. But having said that, when it starts, and it starts properly. So
Interesting people with that DJ Toy. Its imaginations to life. Say it found at IKEA. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
thank you. Yeah.
I Hideki Clark at Pebble Beach and Scotty Scheffler at the Players' Championship and at Bay Hill. The other
There it is, a long wave. Well, I should be able to get Radio 4. Still. Not too bothered if we can't, but obviously not. But then, when I go back to
What a great
means
story
of
there.
it now,
Amateur champion last year.
it's back to making its noise. Really hear it?
The Amex event in January, and won it. So he was the first amateur to win on the PGA Tour since
It's
Phil
me and Buster
Mickelson,
both in
which
the
was
background.
33 years ago, then turned professional, and here he is, he's in because he would have been here anyway as the amateur champion, the US amateur champion, but he's here because he's won on the PGA Tour, and there's always a changing of the guard, isn't there?
Yeah. Now at this point, if you take the volume down like that, it's still there. It's still doing it. So whatever it is still doing it. Now, I changed the grid capacity yesterday, or that capacity as it's known. And so let's have a look at what's happening with that. Yeah, that is bouncing around that. Hang on, I'll just find a way of. Can you see that? Okay, right now, if that goes to deck like that again, and that goes onto there like that, as you can see, that's bouncing around, and like the noise in the speaker, that is also that is in a way permanent. So whatever it is, it's either output valve or HT oriented. So off we go, as in mains off like that. Turn the thing round slightly, hopefully without taking the meter with it, like that. Okay, fine. And it's got it could be something as simple as something in the wrong place, but I don't see why, because nothing is. So I don't know. I really don't know here. Now, if I put it back on again, it will probably now sound all right. Wait for it to warm up and see, shall we? By the way, I've given that a spray, so I don't think it's that, but it's not there, you see now. Yeah, okay. Right, okay, well in that case, what I'll do is I'll take off this capacitor which I've just put in, and we'll see if it still does it. If it does, then I suppose I could try another cap in there, but we don't know for sure. So, you go from the anode of the 8-port valve, and you go through the transformer, which is probably 300 ohms, no more, through R16, which is 15k, and you end up there like that, and that looks to be about right. So something is pulling that line down, because I think 70 volts is certainly less than it should be. So look at this line. We've got R7. Hang on. There's not really a lot apart from possibly. I think the thing to do here. I've said now that smoothing cap is okay. It might be leaking to deck, although not making a noise on the speaker. So the next thing we do is change that capacitor over to something a bit more modern. It is caps 25 and 26, which the diagram puts. That's 16 microfarads each. So something around there, you know, 22s will do, you know. But you know, with capacitors like with these, if you don't know the value, what you do is get the details of the rectifier valve, yeah, and that will tell you what the capacitor value it takes is. Okay, so get hold of that, and it tells us it'll go up to 40 microfarads. So you've got some range if you can't get 16 or you can't get the exact ones you want. You can get something in the ballpark, and it will do. They're actually quite easy to, okay. Always go up rather than down, okay. But don't go any further than what the manual, what the details on the valve say. So I could put 32s in there if I wanted to, anything up to 40, but no more. Again, you could, but you got to think about the valve, which is rather old. So you know, got to think about that as well. I mean, when you're about 70 years old, you'll want a lower capacitance as well, probably. At last, I've got the circuit. Pinchers work basically when they want to, when they don't want to, they don't. So I don't know what it is with pinchers. Does anybody else have the same problem? Anyway, this is a circuit of the radio in question, and I'm quickly, first of all, it's got the old dropper system here, you see, and the voltage of the valves is measured there. Okay, that's dropper V4 there. Yeah, that's within. Okay. Now, it then goes to there, up here. Now there it looks okay. There, it's low, and so that resistor looks more or less okay. But I think, given the situation, I think the next thing we do is change the smoothing caps. It doesn't make any noise or anything, hum wise, but maybe one of them is leaking to deck. So we'll swap them anyway. This is sort of problem, by the way, where something could be anything going to be simple, but it starts to, yeah, that as well. So I will now change the two capacitors, and then we'll try it and see if it makes any noises that it shouldn't, particularly motorboating ones. Well, I've now got smoothers in circuit, and if we touch on here, you do get, there you are, that's okay. Okay, now before we were in fact getting the AT line jumping up and down. So if I put that like that and look at the other side of that like that, so, hang on, can you get that? Yeah, okay, right, I'll do it this way. That's now stable. If that's stable, this is stable on the other side of here as well, which is there, which is rather more lively than it was. So therefore, next thing we've got to do is put the gig capacitor back in and see if it feels like being nice to us. And that's with the grid cap back in, and as you can hear, no motor button.
Not Champions League. Giving a put that field as well, and the ball into the area just missed by miners. Again, Liverpool out to pick it up, and Passionix picks it up on the left-hand side for Atalanta. The white shirts coming forward once again. Give it to Rome.
So we'll let it.
Squared into Jim Sheety, the centre half. Every player, bar Musso, the Atalanta goalkeeper, at the moment is inside the Liverpool half. And Atalanta are not settling for the two, Stephen.
Well, no, why would you? Why would you when Liverpool are leaving gaps and
Yeah, so that seems to be okay. I will leave it for a bit now and make sure the problem doesn't recur, because it was very much come and go before. But it looks as though it's sorted. So
midway through the second half, Atalanta who lead by 2 goals to 0. Liverpool come forward once again. Salah over.
Put that back on there.
We've got a break tonight, which is why Atalanta 2 goals to 0. Picks it up on halfway. Hold up. Side. Picked up now by and all the way back to Hine, who will send it all the way back to his goalkeeper. No, back to
anyway, that's 5 Live. Long way still appears to be dead, but
and an update for Aston Villa in their back line.
Fury FM there.
We thought
And that's the other 5 Live. That's quite good, that, actually.
Individually, but so far Liverpool's passive. This is arguably the worst performance I've seen.
I really don't care about that. But anyway, that seems to be working now, so I'll run it for a bit and make sure that nothing happens. And also I'll see if we can get long waves to work. It'd be nice if we could, but it doesn't really matter, because of course the station on there that now is Radio 4, and that's going off the air in a year's time, so really medium wave at the moment only, you know. Having said that, I'm sure that pirates will appear on AM, and the fun begins. Like I said, sometimes stuff starts to suck after you started to work on it, and this is perhaps one case in point. This particular unit here is a radio, and this is the power supply side here, and the AC to the rectifier valve, and there's a circuit, is way down. That's the AC there, you see, through this here, which has got bits put across it and all sorts. And also there's this coil here, which is gives different readings every time, so that's obviously not quite right. That is all 7 there. So obviously the problem is with this power supply unit here. Now a radial power supply unit of this kind provides LT for the valves, which is, in this case is AC, and after rectifier DC as well for the H2, or in America fills, which is filaments, and BAT, which is 18 weight. So whichever one you want to use, you know. So what I'm going to do in these situations, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look and make sure that any part of this still works. If it does, I might use it. I bet I probably will. So this bit here, (750 volts ohms, which is exactly what it says. Well, I said 752, 751, you know. So this part's okay. Now that part there, I think is the valves. Now with the valve, it's not valve 4321 deck or something like that. It never has been. 4312 to be precise. So I will measure through and we'll find out which end is, because there's 2 wires there, you see, and I don't, that is obviously not right, but you know, while I'm here I'll make this a lot simpler as well, is feeding the correct voltages. If this has gone as well, which it hasn't, then either I'll put a 750 k resistor in it, but considerable size, or I'll go for the capacitive dropper arrangement. I've got one out just in case. So now I'm going. This is out of circuit. This is still working, and so the first thing we do is put the main straight onto here like that, and then of course straight to there as well, and that of course should make the valve light up, but nothing else. Okay, that's the next thing. So first thing we do is get the valve light up at something approaching the correct. The valves on this, it's about 96 volts, so that is going to drop the rest of it there. So it should do it, but if it doesn't, well, I've got other arrangements in hand. What we're going to do here, having looked at it again, I've taken that light circuit and put the main straight onto the on-off switch there. Okay, now then, negative goes to deck, that's in place, and positive, well, live AC is here. Now then, the valves, of course, 95 volts, yeah, which leaves about 140 volts for it to drop on the dropper here. Now, I can put a resistor in, but it'd be something like 20 ohms. No. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to make up what's called a wattless dropper, okay, with a capacitor. Now, these are good for 2 reasons. One, they're smaller, and 2, they don't generate any heat at all. So therefore, the radio will run cooler as well. So I think that's the way to go, don't you? Now, now I've worked it out. By the way, you've got to work it out, and elsewhere in the channel how to do it. All the stuff you use at Pythagoras triangles and that, they finally comes in useful here. Okay. So basically it works out to 1.5 microfarads, but not an ordinary 1.5, one of those off a computer power supply will do very nicely. Okay, so that's one use for them. Okay, so therefore I get one, I put it between there and there, switch on, and the valves should light up. Notice, should. When I plug this in now, all I'm going to get is a valve lighting up and nothing else, because the HT, or BATS if you're in America, isn't connected, but the fills or LT is here. So now, when I do that, that's to wait a little while because they do take a little while to warm up, but they will start to glow. Glow, the beauties glow. They do take a little bit longer to warm up these droppers, but that's just something which we have to live with, unfortunately. So anyway, that probably helps, doesn't it? Right, okay. So it's letting I'm tired. Anyway, so now, if we go now to somewhere like 200 volts AC, and go on to, yeah, that's going up now, 54, 55. And I think we better leave that for a minute. They are glowing. We can see it on the monitor over there. I do not know, but but they are now glowing. If I maybe try and knock off one or two lights, we might be able to see that. What I'll do is I'll knock a few lights off, and we'll see if we can. If you see that on camera, then great. If you can't, I'm sorry, but the heaters are still on, and of course this light here I've turned away, but the main light is off, so you should be able to see something glowing. They are glowing. They're glowing quite brightly. The reason why this is a bit of a mess here is that my calculations have been a bit wrong somewhere, so I'm going to go and do them again. I think that one's a 2.2 rather than 1.5 there, so that's what I'm going to do next. Now, at this point now, with these looking as though they're glowing pretty well, I can try putting the HT on and seeing if it will play for us. It should do, but on a well, obviously these valves are not as well lit as they should be. So that's what I'll do next, and also look for 2.2. Now I've got a different sort of dropper in. It's a sort of classic dropper anyway, and so we'll see what happens now. All that should be happening at this point now here is that there should be nothing more here now than the valve lighting up, nothing else at all. So as you see there, that is now going up quite well actually. And the valves are looking nicely lit now than before. Going a little bit high, but at the moment I don't think there's anything more to worry about there, because if you run them a little bit high, that's not. If it goes anywhere near 100, then obviously there's a fault. But that is running about 8 volts high divided by 4 volts. So it's all like 2 volts each. So I think that'll be fine. It's about leveling off at 9.45, 9.46 volts. So that's okay. So now with that like that, and that like that, like that, like that, we now put the HT on and see what we should at this point then hear something going. Actually, hear some noise out of this thing. So you know, it's possible now that we've actually got it to the stage where I can think about calling it a day. That's the LT and the HT, or baton fills in American terms, connected. So that goes down, and we'll wait for it to warm up, which it will do presently. Okay, so it's they do take a bit longer to warm up, but these bring the heaters up gradually, so the whole thing comes up gradually. So in that way, it's actually better for the radio. But let's see what we get. Ah.
I know why this is the situation, Chris, but it is a bizarre thing to think that two of the top three goal scorers in the Premier League are English, and there's a high chance that neither of them starting for England in the summer. In fact, it's almost certain. Yeah,
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, it also tells you the quality of player that Gareth does have at his disposal. But Watkins has to be the second striker.
You know, that seems to be all right now. So next thing we're going to look at is why the aerial works very well there, but not here at the aerial socket, which means therefore that it's either one of these capacitors here or the switch itself. Now, looking at the circuit here, the grid of it, of valve 1, goes through C4 to the socket, so that goes down here, and we'll have see which is what here. Again, they're all capacitors, so chances are they're better than they are rather bad, but always try and find the fault. That's very important. You know, I mean, yeah, okay, we could easily have repaired this one by capacitor changing, but that won't actually teach you anything about radio, how these things work. So let's do these things properly, shall we? Like we should always do, because on this programme we will. There, of course,
And I fancy that.
next that does that. There
Peterborough. Chris Cole.
is the same, but this is the aerial trimmer, and you simply tweak this for maximum.
Two very weak penalties, and Fleetwood, who are fighting for their lives, can ill afford to miss two brilliant
And so that is now this radio without an aerial, with an aerial.
At least, but they really need to win this game, and they've missed two penalties.
Peterborough
1, Fleetwood 1, 77 minutes.
Speaking of Burton, let's head straight there.
So that set is now ready and sorted and okay to go back into its case. So I'll make that secure, I'll sort that out, and what I do again, putting it back in its case is something which we do again in stages. So we'll start by putting the tuning dial and tuning string back on, which go around here. So the tuning dial on this is certainly a bit interesting as regards what it is, but that's just the way it is, you know. So this goes back on, and we'll try it again.
As if to say, what are they doing?
And here is a set in question, nicely working again in its case. I could do with a new dial for it if anyone's got one, but although this is anyway junk as it stands,
0-0. Manchester City 0, Real Madrid 0.
it does actually work, so it does now anyway.
Severe pressure. There are 3 Real Madrid players around him, and he managed to win.
The voltage on the valves is slightly above where it should be, but not that much. I don't know why that vacuum dropper didn't work the way it's supposed to. I must look into that. It's pulling me somewhere. Making wrong button for the calculator. Like I said, it's now working fine.
Bernardo Silva on the move for Manchester.
Yeah, actually. There, yeah, you see.
Yes. To it, returns the compliment, and then Guardiola is rolled.
It's not a lot on AM these days, but there you are. So, in the Invicta 200, I don't know many of them thereabout, but it's the best one I've seen. So it must be rare. But there you are. So until next time, here on Steve's Long Stay Vintage Radio Workshop. Goodbye, take care, and keep fixing radios. Bye bye.
Meeting for them as managers in the previous 11. Guardiola has the edge with 6 wins to Ancelotti's 3.